So if you go back, you'll see that I've made a couple community posts on something I'm calling, I just named it for me, Operation Blindside. And I kind of walk you through it a little bit. And I gave it a little time to air out. But I'll wrap it up here. Phase 3 consists of execution and exfiltration. Successful exfiltration, as in not in the back of a cop car. The operation is complete. And like any operation, that any operator, any kind of operator, doesn't have to be a military special operator, but anybody, an urban operator, somebody who operates and takes risks for an outcome that involves planning and execution. The best operations are the boring ones, and Operation Blindside was very boring. Execution took less than 10 seconds. It was over like that. The exfil was more exciting. Analyst notes. The hardest part was trying to gauge the risk with law enforcement and possibly CCTV and facial recognition, which they claim these devices can't do, but is conflicting claims because others say cops who have abused these tools, these overreaching government surveillance tools that violate your Fourth Amendment right to warrantless searches, the cops who have abused them say yes. So I'm not taking any chances. Cops lie. People lie. And my life isn't a thing for somebody significantly less intelligent than me to play with, okay? Contingencies are the key to successful operations, and it always takes more time to plan. It takes more time to surveil, do a recce. It takes more time to observe patterns such as law enforcement, routes and presence, and location of CCTV. It takes more time to do all that, but if you take the time to do all that, the execution will be boring, and that's a good thing. Because any operator will tell you an exciting operation is not a good operation. At that point, you fucked up. Just ask the Navy SEALs about that. Anyway, just in case I'm not as slick as I think I am, I'm gonna take a nice little trip into the woodlands. Speaking of which, I've mentioned it several times before in my videos, my window, I always leave my window up because I don't live in fear. I leave my window up and my door's unlocked, but the squirrels have figured out, I consider them my neighbors, but they figured out that my window's a drive-through. I buy unsalted peanuts and I toss them out when they come by. It's really cute. It took them a couple months to trust me, but now, well, they got to a point where they would come out, sit on their hind legs and kind of hold their hands in front of them like this. Like they're communicating with me, like, nut please. Well, when I'm caught up either in my head or watching something, taking in information, sometimes I won't notice them standing out there, and now they've gotten to the point where they'll put their little paws up on my windowsill and they'll peek their cute little heads over and be like, hey, do you see me? And you know, it's so cute, man. It's so cute. So I'm gonna go spend some time with my woodland neighbors. As always, the phone stays home, and then when I know everything's cool, I'll be more than happy to come back and spend some time with you travelers. I hope you've noticed that I keep repeating the phone always stays home. This is for your protection, and I hope I'm leading the way for you, and that you will begin to emulate those practices where you leave your smartphone at home. Maybe buy a flip phone where you know if you take the battery out, it's untrackable. There aren't many places that sell pagers anymore, so the flip phone option is probably your lowest tech option as far as communication, where you can just put the battery in when you need to use it, take the battery out when you don't want to be tracked. But as for your smartphone, consider it to be a laptop with continuous satellite connection. Even a flip phone turned off, there's still satellite connection. You have to take the battery out of the flip phone, but with the smartphone, you have no option other than to leave it at home. And I would suggest Americans start doing that, because every time you take it into public, you are implicating yourself. You are being tracked, you are being surveilled, you're being read, and legally you are implicating yourself. So I hope not only that you would begin leaving your smartphone at home, but you would encourage others to leave their smartphones at home. I consider mine a computer. It's the highest level of technology I have, my smartphone. That's why I do these videos with this. I don't have a desktop. I don't have a studio. This is my tricorder. This is you hold the information of the world in your hands. But it has downsides. It is always connected. So, as always, I'm leaving my smartphone at home while I go on a nice little camping trip and spend time with my woodland neighbors. Wild, man. Just wild, the world we live in today. But hey, it is what it is, and unless you're delusional, you have to align with reality. You have to accept. That's the only way to grow. It's the only way to adapt. It's the only way to live. You gotta accept reality. Living in delusion is not the answer. Next time, travelers,